Hello everyone, this is Vicky and I'm designing for Pink Fresh Studio with the new Lovely Lane collection designed by Paige Evans. This paper really sings out to me. I love the bright colours, I love that it's all different colours, I love that I can fussy cut it, and you all know I love a bit of fussy cutting, so that is exactly what I'm going to do with this paper. It took me a while, and I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing because it did take a while and I did it freehand. But there's the finished cutout swirls, curves. I don't know what we're calling them, but I like them, and you'll see why I liked them for the photos I have in just a second. But first of all, what I want to do is, I don't want this to be flat on the page. I want it to have a bit of texture. So I'm going to add in some zigzags. So I'm just using my score tool and I'm going to put in some just score marks there. Now, how many did I do? I think 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 9. I put in 9. And I'm going to turn those into zigzags in just a second. But what I'm doing is I'm doing 2 the same, and then I'm doing the next 2 the same, and then I'm doing the next 2. So the same number of folds, just to try and keep the whole thing balanced up a little bit. It doesn't need to be. I could do it any way I wanted, but I just thought I would try to balance it up a bit. Now I'm just taking it off because what I want to do is just check to see if this is working. And whether I like, after I've zigzagged it, whether I like the effect. And whether I need more or whether I need less. So that's what I'm doing currently. And I quite like that. I just like that it adds a bit of texture without taking away from that, that zigzaggy soft pattern. Okay, so doing that, and then I'm going to pop it back onto my scoreboard and do some more. So yeah, you can just see, just adds a bit of interest to that paper. And I think most of us have a score tool, so this is pretty easy to do. I line it up there, but actually doesn't need to be done too accurately. Things will find their way, as it were, once you do the zigzags. So yeah, so I'm doing more zigzags on these next 2, and then just a different number each time. In a moment I'll skip through because you won't need to watch me do all of these scores and zigzags because you would probably fall asleep. But I have fun doing this, and it's definitely something that I will do again. Okay, so this is now all of them done, all of my little zigzag 3D effects done. So I'm just going to stick it down, and I'm sticking down starting at the edge and then sort of sticking each end. And in a moment I will also skip through that process, but that's what I'm doing there. So at the moment I'm just doing the ends. I did, which you won't see, I did at the end stick down some of the zigzags that were sort of sticking up, just so that it added a bit of a bit less depth. Like I didn't want the layout to be so 3D that I couldn't put it in an album. So some of them got stuck down just to make sure that didn't happen. There we go. So you can see I'm just pressing down that green one, and I did stick that one down because it was sticking up somewhat. Okay, so the photos I have are from a recent holiday to Canada, and we were on a road trip, and I thought that these lines could represent the road that we were on. And although I don't specifically call it out in the layout, in my head that's what they're representing. They're representing the road of our road trip. And so I thought that was quite fun, and I was quite pleased with that. And they just sort of lend themselves now to tucking in photos. So that's literally what I did. Put some glue on, tuck those in. Perfect. They didn't need any backing, I didn't think. They just sort of went in there, and the photos speak for themselves. So one of those is at Peggy's Cove in Nova Scotia, and the other one is on the Cabot Trail in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. So yeah, I really had fun doing this. So florals, what's Paige Evans' collection without florals, I feel, and I do love her flowers, so I'm going to put some clusters of those on here. Just moving them around a bit, layering them up. I think they just look really beautiful there with the rest of it. And I'm going to put some foam on the back just so that it adds that extra bit of dimension for those. So I'm not putting those on top of my existing texture, so it won't make it even bulkier. Okay, so we've got these 3D layered stickers here, so I'm just going to use a couple of those. And this type of sticker is really good because they're, you know, the tags, they're long and they fit onto these stripes very well. And I'm sort of doing them by colour, so tone on tone. These are the Puffy stickers, and I'm going to use one of those there. They're all little fun sayings about enjoying the day and, you know, live for the moment type expressions, and I really like that. I think it speaks to, you know, going on holiday with friends and having fun. Okay, so I've got this little one here, which is from the chipboard stickers. Again, I'm doing tone on tone, and a little pink one as well. I love it. I just love how they all fit in, and the colours obviously match perfectly to each other. Okay, so now for my title, which is the final thing really. This is a very, I would say, simple layout, but effective. There's lots of colour on there and texture. But my title is going to use the gold Puffy stickers, and it's going to just say Maritime Canada, which is where we were. And I wondered about putting road trip, but I wanted to put the place that we were rather than that it was a road trip. Although in retrospect, I may later on add road trip somewhere on there in the white stickers, but that's to be determined. Okay, so just making sure I've got all the right letters to put on there, because there's nothing worse than starting your word and then realising that you don't have enough letters, one of the letters to do it. And so there's a lot of A's there. There's 3 in Canada and 1 in Maritime. So I was just making sure that I wasn't going to run out of A's, but there are lots. So I think you can have any title you want on here. And that's it. That is the final layout. So there's a picture of the whole layout coming up just there. And there will also be some close-ups. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it's given you some inspiration for using this beautiful collection. And please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help you. And there'll be a full list of what I used down there as well. So thank you for watching. This has been Vicki for Pink Fresh Studio. Until next time, bye-bye.